This time of year, every cat is an indoor cat. And when it's freezing outside, I'm an indoor human. Okay, let's be honest. I'm an indoor human no matter what the weather. But if there's one thing that can really stink up being stuck inside, it's the litter box. Don't let that nasty smell ruin your winter wonderland. You got to switch to Pretty Litter. Okay, you guys know I don't have a cat, but one of my best friends, Sabrina, does. I gave her this Pretty Litter, and guess what? She told me it is the best litter they've ever had, and they just changed their monthly subscription over to Pretty Litter instead of whatever they were using before. She told me that this amazing non-clumping formula traps the odor and the moisture. It's ultra absorbent. She said it's low dust and lightweight, and she loved that the one bag lasted a really long time, so she didn't have to have a bunch of these bags around. I'm telling you, she wrote me yesterday and said, thank you so much for giving me the Pretty Litter. We have now subscribed. So indoor cats and indoor humans can agree. Pretty Litter helps anybody's house smell fresh and clean. You're going to go to prettylitter.com/pinkshade and save 20% on your first order and get a free cat toy. That's prettylitter.com/pinkshade to save 20% on your first order and get a free cat toy. prettylitter.com/pinkshade. Terms and conditions apply. See site for details. All right, I've told y'all, when it comes to grocery shopping and meal planning, I've got a problem, and it is the amount of people in my house and their different needs. Some people need breakfast, some people just need lunch, some people need snacks, sometimes 4 people need dinner or no people. So my problem has been solved with Hungry Root. It is the easiest way to eat healthy. It's like having your own personal shopper and nutritionist all wrapped into one. They take care of your weekly grocery shopping. They recommend these healthy groceries and meals, and you go into the website and you pick the healthy meals that you want. How many? Like sometimes I need 4 dinners or just 1, depending on who's home and what they need. And then you can apply that credit towards getting different snacks. Let me tell you what we had this week that was delicious. We made the quickest and easiest Caesar salad for lunch for me and my husband, and it was enough for 4 people, so we had it for 2 days. It was delicious. It was quick. It was easy, and that is what we need. They also sent us this really delicious Himalayan sea salt popcorn. Really good, and a little chocolate. You know I love that. So you're going to love Hungry Root as much as I do. Take advantage of this exclusive offer, and for a limited time, you'll get 40% off your first box, plus get a free item in every box for life. I love to pick my free item, y'all. Go to hungryroot.com/pinkshade and use code pinkshade. That's hungryroot.com/pinkshade, code pinkshade to get 40% off your first box and a free item of your choice for life. hungryroot.com/pinkshade, code pinkshade. Hey everybody, welcome to Pink Shade. It's TLC Tuesday. Are we on video? That was the question that you asked. I told Ingrid we would not do video.
Okay.
But we can, because it does appear that you put makeup on.
I did put makeup on because a couple weeks ago you posted a video of us recording, and I did not know we were on video. And you had just gotten done complaining that Ryan Bailey did that to you.
She did.
And I said in the comments, I didn't know we were doing video, you bitch. You did to me what Ryan Bailey did to you.
I think that I did not post the whole video. I just did a clip for a reel.
That's still my face.
I know.
No makeup.
I know.
And greasy hair.
Well, you're beautiful regardless.
Thank you. Nice cover.
Yeah. Yeah, sometimes I just like clip the part out for the reel, but I don't post the whole video.
So I have to look semi-presentable at all times.
Well, you look great.
Thank you.
This is last night's hair washing, and didn't put on any lipstick or anything, but just here I am in all my glory. Now we are going to talk about 90 Day Fiance today, the new show that we're loving. Yeah. And what we can't ignore is that Juan got hip to the fact of what I got hip to episode 1, which is Jessica's really leaning into that live, laugh, love lifestyle.
I died when he mentioned it. I started to write them down too. It's like a fun little Where's Waldo game. You try to pause, and sometimes you can only see a corner of one. So you're like, what does the rest of that say?
Does it say grounded, beautiful, lucky? Wait. It can't say grounded. What does it say? And you're like trying to figure it out. Yeah. Oh, bless. Well, that'll be interesting. And then somebody sent me the listing for her house. like in Torrington or wherever it is, Torrance,
How
wherever it is.
much?
It was like $186,000,
Yeah,
two
that seems right.
bedrooms, one and a half bath. It's a very small house.
Yeah, that seems right.
But when it was just her with the two kids,
Yeah,
lots of space. But now you got a
yeah,
baby in there and a husband is probably getting kind of tight.
yeah.
Hmm.
It's almost like she should have spent less on word art and bought a door for the bedroom instead. Just a couple of those word art things. Get rid of them.
Is her be- is her bedroom in the basement and then the boys' bedroom is upstairs?
No, they're connected. It's like I think they might have what is the primary bedroom, and
Hmm.
then she has like some sort of bonus room that is attached.
Because the half bath is attached there.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Okay, got it. It was interesting, but you know what? Hey, she's a therapist in a town that of 6,000 people that probably doesn't need a lot of therapy.
No. Or
But
does, but doesn't want to go to therapy. She's doing the best she can.
like you said last week, her word art for her office door should be what? Even cowboys need therapy.
Even
What'd you
cowboys
say?
need therapy. TM.
Hmm.
And I just I wish they had waited to have a child. I just don't want to be a judgy
Hmm.
Judith. But
Uh-huh. Yeah.
uh why did she get knocked up with the baby before he came over and could work? That was seems
Yeah.
like that
He couldn't even be at the birth.
yeah, he couldn't even be at the birth.
Mm-mm. This is not a show about people that make good choices.
No.
So as soon as you accept that,
Yeah.
you're going to feel better.
Yeah.
You're going to feel better. I love how your background is just ever evolving. It's
Yeah, it's a
ever
changing
evolving.
it's a live wall
It
of
is.
yeah, it's alive, it goes with the moods.
So
Um,
is that I have to assume that heart tree is a diamond painting that you did.
I did a long time ago
That's
for and now I
that's
thought for Valentine's Day, I kind of
yeah, that's crazy.
yeah,
You're
thank you.
so talented with your diamond painting.
Thank you.
Look, see?
I got the coolest thing ever and I have to figure out a way to post it. So only people on video will. Our
Okay.
listener Stella made
Oh,
us this. It is the art is I believe called book cutting or book
okay. Yeah, I
like
could.
that.
Yeah,
And it's just these are like literally cut out of this true
book.
crime book and it's our logo. Is that
That
like
is super
crazy?
cool. Yeah,
Yeah.
you've got to get a little shelf behind you to display
Yeah.
this stuff. Yeah,
Yeah. So cool.
that is really cool.
I know.
Listeners are talented.
I know.
All right, let's talk about this show because you guys also today here on Tuesday you're going to get a bonus episode and it is going to be Kimberly and I discussing the Baldwins, okay? So,
Ooh.
um I'm excited about it. I really liked it. Kimberly maybe not quite as much as I did.
No, I liked it.
I liked it a lot.
I wasn't expecting to like it as much, which makes me feel dumb because I feel like it did what they wanted it to do and I fell for it.
Totally. Totally. Chris DeRosa posted it was like, this is horrible. I was like, I liked it. He was like, no, you didn't. I go, I did. I did. And I've decided, I'm just at the age now where I should just live in my truth and I shouldn't be embarrassed
No.
that
Yeah.
I liked it because I did.
Yeah.
I loved it.
Like Jessica is living in her truth with her word art. Like she's kind of a basic bee and she has word art instead of personality. And maybe we need to lean in. I'm so sorry. I someone
Wow.
said something similar today on Reddit and I was like, it's kind of
Mm,
true. If you have to have
mm.
that much word art
Um,
instead
I,
of real art,
I think it just means that like you saw a sign one time that you thought was like so cute and then you just couldn't stop yourself. Do you know what I mean? I think it's like with me with probably culturally inappropriate Buddhas that I have everywhere. Because I love them.
yeah.
They bring me a sense of like peace and happiness when I see them. And
Okay.
and I probably have a few too many. Um, but that maybe that's what happened with her. She saw a sign that said home and she goes, you know what? For my new house, I think I'm going to get this sign home. So right when I walk in, I'll know that I'm home. I'll feel at peace. It'll be my place to relax. And then what happened was she went to the end cap at Home Goods where they have everything on sale.
Uh-huh.
And she was like, well, this sign's only $3. And she just leaned all the way in. Now she can't get out of it.
Do you remember the SNL skit where they're giving someone word art for their birthday or something, and it's just starts to imply that the person has a massive drinking problem. It starts to be like rose all day,
Yeah.
every day rose, and
Mhm.
then it's like it's 5 o'clock somewhere, so I'm gonna get wasted. And then it's like I have a horrible drinking problem, and like driving. It's all about like she just keeps getting more and more offended by how much they're
That's
leaning into the word art. It's very funny.
the word art about drinking is crazy because there really will be like, it's wine time, it's wine o'clock, wine a little, you'll feel better. I mean, there's so
It's
many,
so many, and I think it really tried to appeal to moms
of course.
and, uh, maybe led to a whole generation of moms having drinking problems because it really encouraged them to forget their problems and
Yes.
drink instead.
Yes. I have to tell you what it has made me do is run away from drinking because it makes me feel like if somebody else gives me a wine a little, you'll feel better tea towel, if one more person gives me one,
Yeah,
I'm going to be on that SNL skit. Like,
uh,
I don't want tea towels with commentary about my drinking.
yeah.
Yeah, I don't need it. I don't want it. I know how much I drink. Okay. I don't need you to tell me. And also, I live with the recovering alcoholics. I got it. I got it on
Yeah,
lock
you
over
get it.
here.
Mhm.
Next time I go to like a bunkie meetup, it's going to be nothing but tea towels that say,
Please do.
it's
Everyone,
wine
you've
o'clock
gotten your
somewhere.
assignment. You
Mm-mm,
know your assignment. Show up
mm-mm.
with the drinking, encouraging drinking. No, don't. For your husband, we shouldn't do that. That's not
No, no.
nice.
Oh, by the way, yeah, he's aware. Um, all right, let's get started with this. Word art, though, when they talk, several people sent me the screenshot of Juan saying something. I was like, I can't wait to hear you and Kimberly discuss it because you already clocked it last week. I go, if anybody didn't clock it last week, then they were not paying attention.
No, your eyes were not open. You were
Yeah, you
asleep
were.
during the episode. It's literally covering every inch of the house.
It's like what I say about Virginia on Love is Blind. She's just like this all the time. Her eyes are just like, she's like, and I have to tell you that when I first saw you, I was like, you didn't see anything. Your eyes are completely closed. Completely closed. I sent Keisha a series of because Keisha's always like, I don't see it. I go, well, then you're blind. I sent Keisha a series of screenshots today, and they look like this. That's one.
Oh, wow.
That's the other one. She's talking. That's the other one. That's
Is that
three in a
just her
row.
natural affect, or
When she
does she need
talks, she just
that opening surgery?
no. When she gets hyped up about something, she might go. And I told you she might like,
Oh, so it's either extreme open or
mhm.
extreme closed. There's no
She's
middle ground.
whenever she was talking to him in the pods, and then after the pods, it's just like, I just want to tell you that I just love you. I'm like, why can't she open her eyes?
Okay, that's weird.
Keisha was like, I think she's just got too heavy of eyelashes. I was like, no, no, no. I've looked
Right,
at
like
that. It's not,
Phaedra on the
yeah,
Traitors. I don't know
it's
how
not
she
like,
saw anything last
like,
season.
no, it's not like that. Are you loving the Traders?
Yeah, I'm enjoying the Traitors a lot. Yeah.
I've only seen episode 1 of Yellow Jackets and started episode 2.
Okay.
I'm getting stressed at how far behind I am. I'm getting very stressed.
You're only a couple episodes behind. You
I
can do it.
know. It's because of Love is Blind. And now I'm pre-recording for Temptation Island, which comes out March 12th. Everybody get ready. You're getting the Netflix spin on Temptation Island, which means higher production value.
What? Wait, what?
Temptation.
Temptation Island is back?
Yes, it's going to be on Netflix coming out March 12th.
New season.
10 episodes
They
at
bought
once.
it.
Yeah.
What was it on before?
USA.
USA, that's right. Yeah.
And on
So it was cheap.
USA, they would, intimate the banging. They would sort
Right.
of have those cameras in this,
Yeah.
but it's on Netflix, so I'm afraid of what we're going to see. Because already I've been like, whoa, and I've only watched one episode.
Uh-huh.
Hmm. So all those episodes are going to drop, guys, on the $10 level of Prime. It's on March 12th. They drop, we drop, all 10.
Oh my gosh.
So I'm
You never get
pre-doing.
a break.
All these great shows keep coming out.
Great.
Well, I got to tell you though, the Baldwins again, guys. It's going to be a separate episode. You can listen to it or not. I don't care. I loved it.
Yeah.
I found it to be light and airy talking about murder. Light and airy.
Like,
Light and airy. But let's talk about 90 Day Fiance, season 11, episode 2. And I didn't write down the title because I forgot to even say it was episode 2. So that is, do you know what? Those are not the notes because, okay, I took the notes on the airplane, so they're in a different spot. Hold,
I
please.
don't think there's any sort of theme with the titles this time.
Okay, what was the title? Do you know?
Yeah, it was. I'll find it.
Okay, because I just had to pull it over from my iPad. So we are going to start with Mark and Mina. I'm sorry since I just sprung that on you.
It was Love at First Flight because
Oh,
they
well, that's cute.
flew in a plane.
Okay, so I wonder if the word love is going to be in every one because last
Yeah,
week
you're
was I
right.
love you and love you. Yeah.
Yeah, good call.
Okay, love at first flight. Okay, got it. Mark and Mina, let's do it. Speaking of love at first flight.
Oh God. Okay. I wasn't prepared for this.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Love. I'm writing it in my notes now. Yeah, when I have to take my notes on my iPad, I mean, they transfer over to the computer, but I have to like mentally be ready. And I wasn't, but I am now. How
Okay,
about you?
so Mark and Mina.
Mark and Mina.
Reminder, Mark is 58 in New Hampshire. She
Hmm.
is 34 from Paris with
Hmm.
their little baby Maria.
Hmm.
They are flying in, and so he is installing a baby gate. He has waited until the day of to
Hmm.
proof the house because he's a man. And
Correct?
also, he says, I haven't done this in a long time
Yeah,
because I
say that.
have two
26
grown
years.
girls.
Yeah.
And so they're flying into Boston, where he will pick her up in his little plane and then fly him home to their to the plane house.
Do you
Uh,
think he should have been at the actual airport to pick her up and then bring her to the small plane? Because I think that was what he was trying to give like a little flex to have her drive up and he's leaning on the airplane. He should have
he
picked her up at the
was.
Boston airport.
He was. I think it felt made her feel fancy to have like maybe a chauffeur take her
Mhm.
to the it's very Pretty Woman. Like we're having a would have been nicer if there was a limo to take her to the private plane.
But, when you got a big bulky car seat, it's just not gonna be that sexy, you know?
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
So we meet Mina. She introduces herself by saying she's 24 in French and then laughs and says, I'm not, 34.
Yeah.
Sorry. English. It's much like Hilaria Baldwin. How you say cucumber.
How you said gato? Is gato is cat? Cat? Yeah. Mhm.
So Maria is the cutest baby, by the way. And I
So
feel like
cute.
you don't ever see babies named Maria anymore.
No, yeah, maybe in France, that's like a really common baby name, but
Yeah.
here, the baby names go in circles. Like,
Mm-hmm.
you don't hear a lot of people named Kimberly anymore.
Mm-hmm.
You don't hear like Jessica much. Like,
Mm-hmm.
if you had a friend right now that had a baby and they're like, "Oh, my daughter's name is Jessica Kimberly," you'd be like, "What?"
No. That would be bizarre because
That was
growing
bizarre.
up, I knew like 15 Jessicas.
I know, right? It's same with like Heather.
Uh-huh.
Heather's a name you don't hear very often. So,
Mhm.
but Maria, maybe it's like super common. Maybe it's like Mary, because it is. Okay.
Also, Jennifer, I think we just burned out ourselves on Jennifers. I think we
I
just have
agree.
too many, and they're just someone put a cap on it and said no new babies are allowed to be named Jennifer. We have too many to keep track of. Can't do it.
Yeah, there was a law that was put down, and
Uh-huh.
with the way things are going these days, that wouldn't surprise me at
No,
all.
no, no, no.
This time of year, every cat is an indoor cat. And when it's freezing outside, I'm an indoor human. Okay, let's be honest. I'm an indoor human no matter what the weather. But if there's one thing that can really stink up being stuck inside, it's the litter box. Don't let that nasty smell ruin your winter wonderland. You got to switch to Pretty Litter. Okay, you guys know I don't have a cat, but one of my best friends, Sabrina, does. I gave her this Pretty Litter, and guess what? She told me it is the best litter they've ever had, and they just changed their monthly subscription over to Pretty Litter instead of whatever they were using before. She told me that this amazing non-clumping formula traps the odor and the moisture. It's ultra absorbent. She said it's low dust and lightweight, and she loved that the one bag lasted a really long time, so she didn't have to have a bunch of these bags around. I'm telling you, she wrote me yesterday and said, thank you so much for giving me the Pretty Litter. We have now subscribed. So indoor cats and indoor humans can agree. Pretty Litter helps anybody's house smell fresh and clean. You're going to go to prettylitter.com/pinkshade and save 20% on your first order and get a free cat toy. That's prettylitter.com/pinkshade to save 20% on your first order and get a free cat toy. prettylitter.com/pinkshade. Terms and conditions apply. See site for details. All right, I've told y'all, when it comes to grocery shopping and meal planning, I've got a problem, and it is the amount of people in my house and their different needs. Some people need breakfast, some people just need lunch, some people need snacks, sometimes 4 people need dinner or no people. So my problem has been solved with Hungry Root. It is the easiest way to eat healthy. It's like having your own personal shopper and nutritionist all wrapped into one. They take care of your weekly grocery shopping. They recommend these healthy groceries and meals, and you go into the website and you pick the healthy meals that you want. How many? Like sometimes I need 4 dinners or just one, depending on who's home and what they need. And then you can apply that credit towards getting different snacks. Let me tell you what we had this week that was delicious. We made the quickest and easiest Caesar salad for lunch for me and my husband, and it was enough for 4 people, so we had it for 2 days. It was delicious, it was quick, it was easy, and that is what we need. They also sent us this really delicious Himalayan sea salt popcorn, really good, and a little chocolate. You know I love that. So you're going to love Hungry Root as much as I do. Take advantage of this exclusive offer, and for a limited time, you'll get 40% off your first box, plus get a free item in every box for life. I love to pick my free item, y'all. Go to hungryroot.com/pinkshade and use code pinkshade. That's hungryroot.com/pinkshade, code pinkshade to get 40% off your first box and a free item of your choice for life. hungryroot.com/pinkshade, code pinkshade.
So, Maria, cute baby. Mina says Mina says, I've met several men who could treat me like a princess. This is my horrible French accent. But no men, they could treat me like a princess, spoil me, but not give me a family. And I wanted a family. And that's why I fell for Mark. And I was like, okay, because we find out in a second that she has a son, already had a son. She's like,
Right?
so you already had a family. So you wanted a new family? You wanted, I don't
Didn't make a lot
understand.
of sense because any man technically could go
Yeah,
ahead and make
maybe they
that
just didn't
happen.
want to, let their cats out of the bag and father a child with her. Maybe because they were too old and
Yeah,
they
but
had the good sense that Mark did not have,
that's what
that
I'm saying.
maybe don't start over with a baby at 58.
I don't think
Um,
Mark wanted one either, is what I'm saying.
Also, does she have all these men that were lining up to spoil her and treat her like a princess?
Yeah,
I mean, she
probably.
is pretty.
She's gorgeous, and I think probably they're like, "Okay, you could be my girlfriend, but with no kids because you're gonna be like wife number 2 or 3 or whatever." But she didn't want that. She wanted, somebody to wanna have a baby with her, and I don't
And, like,
think
raise the baby with her.
yeah, and I don't think Mark wanted that. I think that's just what happened.
Did she have a job before she had a baby?
I don't know what her job or her occupation is, and I was wondering that myself, that she hasn't even just said, like, before when I lived in Paris, I was in executive sales or
Mhm.
something, but she hasn't said at all.
Mm-mm. Maybe she's like a professional girlfriend, just like
She could be.
professional sugar baby.
She could be.
But she's
She's
getting a little too old to be a sugar baby, I feel like.
well, tell that to Jasmine. I don't know what to
Yeah,
do.
that's true.
Yeah, yeah.
There's no age gap on age limit on sugar
I
babies.
know, I think
Maybe
it's
there's
just
time for me. I could still do it.
sugar baby's a state of mind.
Yeah, it really
Go
is.
for it, girl. Go for
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
So, they just got some bad news.
Yeah.
Mina has this son who is 9 years old named Clayton from a
Mhm.
previous relationship. His passport did not arrive in time. So he has to stay in Paris with her sister. And Mark is very worried that if the passport doesn't come soon, they'll have to start the K1 process over again. And Mina
Mhm.
will have to go back to Paris. I think because she won't get married
Mhm.
without the son there, or because once they get married, you have to wait a while before you can travel back to your home country, and
I
she
think
doesn't
all of
wanna
that's
leave
the
her son
same.
for that long.
Well, she's probably
So
like, "I'm not gonna stay away from my son for 3 months."
yeah,
It sounds like maybe she's a better parent than some other people on these shows.
well,
Um,
I didn't wanna
it
say it, Jasmine.
yeah.
Uh, but she's saying my K1 my visa would run out. She could just wait a couple more months because she has 3 months in America, so she could just wait. No, I guess you have to leave by a certain date, so maybe she
I
had
think you could
to
leave on day, 89 if you want.
couldn't you just fly into America on day 89? Or does it not start? Does the clock not start ticking till you land in America, but you have to leave your country by a certain date?
Yeah, I think once you get the K-1 visa, you have a certain amount of time to act on it. Like, you
And
can't just
then
get
once
it.
you get there, you have
Yeah,
9. That's what.
right.
Okay.
Yeah, so I
So
think that if
whatever.
if the son's visa didn't come through and it looks like it's gonna be stalled for 6 months, she's probably like, "I'm just gonna go back and we'll start over."
Yeah.
Yeah.
So then we oh. So she lands in America with the baby, and she is crying that she had to leave Clayton with her sister in Paris. She's crying. She says her son said, this is heartbreaking. Her son said, I hope you come back for me. Ray
That's too
probably
much.
said, I hope you come back for me, mama, or something in French doesn't sound like French at all. Je m'appelle Clayton. Où la toilette, mama?
Bonjour, bonsoir.
He said, "I hope you come back for me." And then she said, "Of course." And he said, "Maybe you just love Maria more than you love me because you're
That is
taking her."
really sad.
That's really sad. And she says, "No, you're the same. I love you both." And she said she's not complete without her son with her, which Jasmine also said, but hasn't
Interesting.
gone back if we're to believe Gino.
Gino, right.
So, okay. So they pull up to the little airport where he's waiting with his plane, and the little baby runs to her grandpa, I mean her dad. And it was so cute,
Cute.
with her little legs going, and
Yeah,
she
yeah,
obviously knows him, so
yeah,
he's spent enough time with her and on video chat, so she knows that that's her dad.
yeah.
And so she's like, I want to sleep and I want Mark to give me a massage tonight. And he says, maybe with champagne. And she says, maybe make a new baby
Wow, one day.
one day. And
Yeah.
somewhere his daughter Jordan just started crying. So then he says, my family is complete because you're here now. And I was like, that's not nice. I know you meant it. You're happy. You're so happy, but her family is not complete because her son is not there.
Right, and his family's not complete because his other 2 children aren't there.
Children aren't there.
Yeah,
So, it was hurtful, but I know he didn't mean it like that. He's just excited.
yeah.
So he's excited to fly them home. And she says, I waited 2 years to come to America. Don't kill me on day one.
My
And he says,
my dad used to fly a little plane like that.
really?
Yeah, I was told I was in it, as a baby, but
You don't
it
know.
only just made me feel good if we ever went on a vacation on a plane, which wasn't very often. Mostly we just like drove to Florida. But if we ever were on a plane and vacation, it made me happy to think like if something happened, my dad could fly this plane.
Oh, that's nice.
Probably not. A commercial airliner versus a
Very
little prop
different, but
plane is probably very different. Yeah.
they could walk him through it.
Probably. Yeah.
So he says, we have a parachute on the plane. And I was like, a parachute?
We're gonna all 3 get
There's
in. Yeah.
Okay. And do you just strap the baby to the parachute? Like you're to the front of you?
Yeah.
Like in a bait, you just put tuck them down your shirt or something.
You
And
know,
then
I
I don't want to think about it.
I don't wanna think about
Anyway,
that.
so they land safely and she's like, he said, do you like the plane? And she says, I like the uniform. And he's like, oh, not me. The uniform is she's like, it's sexy. I'll do flight attendant for you. We're in for a rough landing. And they're doing this sexy thing, which ends with him saying, my tray table is upright.
And the first time I watched it, I didn't clock it. Second time I was like, "Oh, ew, ew."
How did you not clock it? Because
Because I
you're
was
used
just
to Love After Lockup where they're so more direct. Like, I
no,
have
I
an
think
erection right now.
I'm gonna pump a baby in you. That's
Yeah.
what they usually say. Is you ovulating? Um, that's a direct quote. I
Uh-huh.
No, it's because when I watch it, if I get a chance to watch something twice, I watch it through the first time and I'm just sort of half, I'm just like doing stuff on my computer. I'm
Yeah.
probably playing Seeky Sasquatch. I'm just half
Yep.
paying attention. So I kind of heard the talk about the flight attendant, but I didn't get what he meant because she was like, "Oh, you're so funny, Mark." I was like,
I
"Ew."
was watching Pillow Talk and Jamal said, I'm just not sensing the sexual chemistry here between them. And Kim says, well, I mean, if you compare it to like Gino, yeah, these guys are like dripping with sexual. And he's like, oh, I didn't know the bar was Gino. Okay. Yeah. Compared to Gino, for sure, these guys are having a lot of sex.
That's funny.
So she says she goes into the house. It's very old, I would say old fashioned. And she says it's big, and she's like, it might be too big. When he's traveling, I'm going to be very lonely. I have to learn to crochet or something. That's better than having an affair. I don't know if that's
true.
I'm thinking of that other couple on Dateline who lived in one of those plain houses and in a plain neighborhood, and there were multiple affairs going on. So he set up the room for the baby with baby toys, but it says Jordan on the wall. So it's definitely Jordan's old room, and he did not actually do anything but buy a few toys. And then
is there a crib in that room?
I didn't see a crib.
No, it's just like a twin. It's like a double bed in there.
I hope he got a crib.
Yeah.
And then they go to the second room. See, they go to the second room, and it is the son's old room, Jack. And and he says, this is where Clayton will sleep. And on the wall is a giant photo of his old family with his old wife, who is blurred out. And Mina is not happy about that, which, is he that dumb to leave it up? Is he that much of just like a man not paying attention? Or did the producers tell him to leave it up?
I think they didn't tell him to take it down. That's for sure. They didn't point it out. But no, I think it's because he's like, this is Jack's room. It's a picture he wants up. It's from my time, whatever. So I can kind of see it both ways, where he's like, this is my kid's room. He wants it up. But I mean, is the kid 30? Is he coming home?
The kid is not coming home. My only thought was Mina seems very particular. So he maybe had said, you can decorate the rooms when you get here.
Yeah.
But you could have done a quick walkabout and just taken down anything offensive. And then she sees another photo, and she says that it's like a photo in a frame that says, you are in my house now, or something, which I think she's mistranslating. I think it must have been one of those frames that Jessica probably has that says, welcome to the family, or
home is where the heart is, or
your
something.
Home, or something. And instead she read it as like, you're in my house now, bitch, second wife, bitch. Like, that's how she read it to say, and that's not what it was saying. But it's blurred out, so we can't tell what it actually said. Again, he's just not that bright. I think he just doesn't see that there's, like, when Jordan told him that she didn't think the weekend went well in Paris, he was like flabbergasted.
Yeah.
What? I thought we all got along. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
I thought you were best friends now with Mina. He had no clue. And so maybe he just didn't think, he just doesn't think.
I think most men
just don't think.
And I think if there was just a picture, like a glamour shot of the ex-wife, he would think to take that down. But if she's in the picture with the kids, in his mind, he's like, well, the kids are here sometimes, but apparently they're in Florida. So I don't know why.
They live in Florida, and they're in their 20s. So I don't think they might feel badly that the new kids are taking over their room. But if there's not enough bedrooms, he can't just leave that room. But I guess it would sting if you were one of the kids, but also you're an adult, so you got to get over it. Yeah. So she's she doesn't like any of this, so she's now kind of in a bad mood, and he tries to smooth things over by, even though he doesn't really realize she's upset, doesn't seem to even realize that she's upset about the photos. So he gives her a white hat because she likes white hats, I guess. Which again is like, maybe Jessica just got word art once, and then her friends started giving her word art. So that could be.
That could be true. Yeah.
Mina once complimented someone on a white hat, and he saw that, and he's like, now I'm going to buy her a white hat every time I see one. It doesn't matter what it looks like.
Yeah.
It's a white hat.
Men
like,
do that.
Like turtles, and then everyone just starts, like, I might get you a Buddha statue now, because I know you like Buddha statues.
There you go. Right over there. Yeah.
So
do I have one close by? I'm sure. Yep. I knew I had one within arm's reach. I mean,
here we go. Oh,
this one I stick on a little light up thing, and it lights up different colors.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. Okay. See?
Just like Buddha intended. So She's impressed that he filled up the fridge with stuff because I guess he normally has pizza and beer living his bachelor lifestyle.
Yeah.
She says the house is okay, but it feels stuck. She
Hmm.
means like stuck in style, stuck in time
Yeah.
because there's pictures of the ex-wife. It just doesn't feel like hers or new, and she wants to move to the city. And she's already bored with New Hampshire.
Yeah.
And they just arrived and it was nighttime. So he says, "Look at this in the closet. I've cleaned out all this room for you." She says, "This isn't even enough room for my clothes." Because it's like a tiny attic. I mean, it
Yeah.
would be fine for me, but it's
It's
not
fine for
for
one person, but it's not for two
2
people.
people,
A
and one is a
Parisian woman.
fashionista
Yeah.
in
Come on
Paris,
now.
exactly.
Yeah.
So she's like, and then the bathroom needs, she says, okay. And he says, "It's vintage, like your husband." And so she's like, there's a lot of work that has to be done. She's ready to spend that money and do some renos.
Yeah.
And she's like, it's fine for a bachelor, but so far what I'm seeing it from New Hampshire is it's for old people. I feel
Mm.
like the house might smell like old people. And I don't know why, because he's not that old, but it just gives off that vibe that it might smell
It just smells like old
musty.
carpet and wood.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
And he's like, "No, there's kids. There's a bus stop at the end of the runway for the kids to go to school."
Watch out for the planes. Yeah.
Exactly.
It's just so weird.
He's like, "I wish she was being more open-minded and excited." And
Mhm.
she's like, "I'll stay for a while." And, maybe he says, "Okay, like a couple years." And she says, "Maybe 6 months." And he says, "Okay, but that means like you have to try for 6 months and we're not going to look for a new place in,
Mhm.
in that time." And she says, "He promised he'd make me happy, but I won't be happy in this house. And I would leave tomorrow if I could."
Wow.
And she's like, "I'm the boss in this house and I'm not happy."
Yeah. Listen, it'll take a quite a bit of money to bring that house updated, and
Yeah.
and it's a big house to be like it's going to be in Parisian style. That would be a lot of money. So decide: are you going to live with it, or are you going to find a different place? And also, is there a market for that house? Do people want to live on a runway? I don't
I
know.
don't. It would be like living on a freeway, but
Yeah.
or on a train track.
Yeah.
But
Scary.
also if he's flying around and she's stuck, I mean, they do have a car, but how far? It looked like it was far from city center
I know.
shopping, things like that. So,
I love how you say city center. That's what they say on house hunters. They always say, you're 4 miles from the city center."
yeah,
I'm looking up what is West Ossipee, New Hampshire near. All right. It is located near the northern boundary of the town. Oh, along New Hampshire Route 16, leading towards Conway, leading towards Rochester. I've never heard of any of these towns in New Hampshire.
Rochester. Oh no, I'm thinking of Rochester, New York. So no, I haven't heard
I
of that.
mean, literally, that is it. There is nothing else. It doesn't give me population, nothing.
Is she the only black person there?
Oh, that's a definite.
Mhm.
I mean, it looks really, really pretty there. Um,
Yeah, beautiful if you
hmm,
like outdoorsy stuff, but she's used to Paris.
the adventurous can hike into the Ossipee Mountains. There are
She's
opportunities
not hiking.
galore for
She's
swimming,
not
boating,
hiking.
snowshoeing.
No, she's not doing any of that.
There are 11 homes for sale in the whole town. 11.
Is that a lot?
No, it's not a
That's not
lot.
no, because that means there's not a lot of houses in the
That means
town.
there's not a lot of houses, and
Yeah.
probably it's real estate that's been sitting there for a long time. Like, if I clicked my neighborhood right now, it'd probably be like, there are 150 houses for
Yeah,
sale in your
yeah,
zip code, you know?
yeah.
Yeah. Ooh.
If
She
someone could find his house on the runway and let us know what it goes for.
Yeah, because somebody sent me, Jessica's, like,
Yeah.
boom, like that. So, hey, monkeys
And
do the work.
explain to us about the noise, because to me, again, even if you window like double, triple window panes, I feel
Yeah,
like you're hearing people coming and going. Is there a time, like a curfew, you can't fly in
right.
after?
Yeah.
I don't
Because what if, like,
understand.
it's 6 o'clock and it's still beautiful outside in the summer and you wanna sit outside and have a glass of wine and we just like a
Exactly.
you know?
The
I know
grass
those
is all
little
flying up.
yeah, the little planes aren't quite as loud, as like a jet, but still,
They're still
listen,
there's still a lot of noise.
She married a pilot. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? She married Pete the pilot, Mark the pilot. All righty, let's move on to Stevie and Maddie. Maddie is my hero. He is so cute.
Yeah.
I love him. I love everything about him. And why does he sound like he's from New Hampshire? He has zero accent.
No accent and very very gentle. He speaks very
Sweet.
gentle. He could
Yeah.
do some like Bob Ross stuff.
Hmm.
Um I I was not expecting that.
I
I
like
was
him a lot.
I was expecting a more aggressive sounding man like Adnan or something from
Hmm.
his glamour shots, the
Yeah.
Photoshop glamour
Yeah.
shots, and that's not what we got. We got a man who is ready to teach a history class or something.
You've seen Adnan and Tiger Lily on the gram, and she's just head to toe. She may as well be, doing everything but the eyes because she is head to toe covered. Not an
He
ankle
has
bone.
realized that is her moneymaker, is leaning into the trad wife
I
thing
guess so.
and
I guess so.
pissing
Um,
people off.
I guess so. It's
Yeah.
pissing me off. Okay. Stevie and Maddie. So Stevie is going to the airport. She's telling us that she brings an extra outfit in the car because she gets sick going over bridges. So she also brings a barf bag. I am Stevie. Stevie is me. Stevie, I see you, girl. Um, she says, I may look like a normal Southern girl, but he might be taken aback when he gets here. Like, I don't wear pants in the house.
That's
And
fine.
okay, I have OCD and I really need things to be put right back where they belong. I have night terrors and I need naps, and I frequently fall asleep while I'm eating.
So has she
Yeah.
been checked by a doctor?
I mean, she says, yeah, Maddie experienced a nightmare with me while I was in Turkey. So he knows about my quirks, but he hadn't lived with them. So anyway, Maddie left Iran yesterday and he's landing in New Orleans, called it. And she has to go over the long ass bridge, which I know is the Huey P. Long Bridge. It is 5 miles, it's totally flat, but it does take 22 minutes to get over it. And
Now,
it is swamp. Swamp.
okay, because when she was all nervous and they were showing one side is water, the
Yeah.
other side appeared to be land, which to me is just you're driving on a road that has water by it.
I've been
Um,
across that bridge. It is nerve-wracking. I mean, I don't like bridges. But it is, I'd say
so I was like,
90,
"There's land. That's land. That's a
90,
half a bridge."
yeah, 90% of it will be only water.
Okay,
And
they
then
were
there
just
are
not showing that part.
10% parts that
Have land.
have some land, right? Like with
Okay,
this little
I felt
inlets and things.
misled because I was like, "That's not a bridge."
It's all swamp. So if you go over, it is chomp alligator time. I mean, it is all swamp. Swamp,
Okay,
swamp, swamp,
she should have
swamp.
explained that better.
I'm just, if you ever get an idea in your mind of like Louisiana swamp people, that's
Yeah.
what it is. Okay? That's
Yeah.
what it is. Um, so number one, I say she needs a half a Xanax.
Yeah.
Okay. She just
No,
does.
no, she's driving.
That's okay. And I think a half a Xanax is fine for driving.
Mm, I think it depends on the person.
Well,
I'm very sensitive to sleep meds. That would knock me out.
um, I took a half a Xanax this last time, both ways that I flew to Wyoming because of the situation here with the airplanes and whatnot. And
Well, I don't blame you.
I was grateful for that.
Yeah.
Um, and number two, she has narcolepsy and needs some sort of sleep
Seriously,
coach.
that
I don't know what's
really
happening
concerns me. It really concerns me that she falls asleep while she's eating.
while she's eating.
That's a sleep I think you have a sleep disorder and you
Yeah.
need to be checked. Just do a sleep study or something.
Yeah.
And you have night terrors.
I got to talk to her about this.
Yeah.
Okay. So she says,
She might not have health care. She's an
well,
artist.
true, but she does
Oh, she
teach.
teaches
Yeah.
online. I don't know if it's through a company or if she just
Okay. Well, then a Hattiesburg doctor for free needs to reach out. I'm gonna
yeah.
find one for her.
Yeah.
Okay. So she says, but going across this bridge, like facing this fear, is really nothing compared to what he's doing, having to leave his entire family and his whole life. She says, I've cried a lot thinking about him leaving his family and his friends. And we only spent 1 week together, which is crazy.
I know.
Um,
Although she seems to be posting a lot of real time updates on Instagram
yeah.
and they seem very happy. She was posting like Valentine's Day messages to him. Also, she was replying to people in the comments, and
Mhm.
I think her dad is still alive, so that's good.
Oh, good. Ooh.
And she was clapping back to people in a very smart and respectful way when they were coming at her. Like, I guess they were saying she's saying his name wrong, and she's like, he doesn't mind the way I say it, and when I say his full name, I do this. And like, and she was explaining how she doesn't teach them y'all and stuff like that.
Uh-huh.
They were asking her about slang, and
Yeah.
she wasn't teaching them hump day, but they were asking her about like if the days had names,
Yes.
like she was describing it all. I think she was not happy probably with the way TLC showed her clip of her teaching because it
Right.
wasn't the best representation of her teaching
It was
English.
just her saying, "Where I come, we say y'all."
Yeah, I'm
Um,
fixing to go to hump back
hump day.
Wednesday or whatever. Hump day.
Um,
Humpback Wednesday.
Humpback
That's what we
Wednesday.
call it.
Mhm.
As
So
being
she has
titled.
a poster and she has 15 minutes to spare. This is what I like. I like somebody that gets to the airport right on time. I don't like somebody that's there 3 hours early and stands around. Good for you, girl. You timed it just right.
I thought that might be too early because he still has to go through customs.
Yeah.
So if you're 15 minutes early, that you're going to be waiting.
Yeah. Yeah. So he arrives. It's very sweet. And they don't talk. They're just hugging. They're just hugging. And he's like, look at me. And she's like, I'm so, and he's like, oh, I missed you so much. He's so sweet. And she's shaking and it's very sweet. Um, and we meet Maddie. Now she's saying Maddie, so that's what we're going to call him, but I'm sure it's Mahdi. I'm sure it's Maddie,
Mm-hmm.
but she calls him Maddie. He's fine with it. We're calling him Maddie. So we meet Maddie, and he says, I always introduce myself as Persian because it sounds more friendly than Iranian.
Oh,
And he says, when I saw her in the airport, it was like family, friend, wife, everything all at once to me.
that's sweet.
And he says in Farsi, when you want to say someone belongs to you, you put an M at the end of their name to show that they're yours. And so that's why she had written Mahdi, Mahdim. Because I was wondering, I was like, oh, is his real name like Mahdim?
Mm.
But you put the M at the end of the name to signify what they belong to you, which I thought was very sweet.
I really like them so far.
I
I've
like
been
them.
fooled
Yeah.
before
Yep.
and I'll be fooled again.
Yep.
But so far, I like it. He wasn't looking for an American. He was just trying to learn English. She
Hmm.
wasn't a sex tourist trying to find like a Middle Eastern boy toy or something.
Hmm.
Like
Right.
they just met in a really organic way and seemed to really like each other.
I agree. I agree. We've been fooled before. It's only the second
Mhm.
episode, but so far we like them. Um, he says he knows the US is going to give him the future that he wants, but it's hard to imagine that he had to leave his family and he hopes he'll be able to go back to see them. But there is a high risk that he can never go back. So they get in the
Although
car,
people on Reddit were saying that might not be true, so I'm not sure.
but it could have been true at that time.
Yeah, yeah.
And then it could be different next week. I mean, it does seem like
Oh,
it's
I
in
think what they
place.
were saying is they could meet somewhere else. Like
Right.
how people meet in Turkey or
Turkey.
something, they could
Mhm.
do that.
Well, that's where they met before in Turkey.
Yeah, so his
Yeah.
family could go to Turkey.
Perfect. So this is a lot of money to keep flying back to
Yeah,
Turkey.
it is,
So
for sure.
they get in the car and he's tall and she's showing him how to move the seat back and stuff. And it seems like he only has 2 suitcases and a duffel bag for his whole life.
I mean, it's still more than Lauren moved to the Philippines with.
Well, again, I still think there was something in those boxes that were in his room. So they start to go across the bridge and she's like, just he wants to talk about don't talk about the bridge. And he's like, I don't even think this is a bridge. Like, stop talking about the bridge. They are just going from like the airport to a hotel in New Orleans. They're not
Yeah.
going all the way to Hattiesburg. So they probably are on like a little tiny bridge. They're not back on the Huey P. Long. I'm just going to tell you that much.
Mhm.
As you know that was a bridge. So, and the talking head, he goes, I didn't know about this bridge fear, but I can tell it's real. Like, she's very upset. So we're in New Orleans and he has questions. Like, he's saying, I mean, if you're going from Iran to New Orleans, then that's a
That's
big
a
difference.
huge culture shock.
Huge. So he's asking her, like, can the girls walk alone at night? And she goes, I mean, I wouldn't, but you can. And he's like, I just can't get over, the way these women dress. He says in Iran, if you have a party that is not separate, like men and women, you'll be arrested. And in Iran, there's dress codes. And the women could never dress, men could not dress like this here. He says, whatever you love, America will give you the best taste of it. Well, okay. So in talking head together, she says she's looking forward to their first night because it's been so long. They had all that sexy time in that one week they were together. Um, and so they go to a hotel in New Orleans, and he says he really likes like the architecture of it, and
Mhm.
he goes, I really sort of like old things. And she's like me? I was like, all right, don't do that, girl.
No, no one likes that game.
Um, and then talking to Eddie's like, it's really cool there in New Orleans. It looks old like Iran, which has a lot of old places. And now he's looking out the window and he could see like the flag for the hotel, the American flag that's hanging at the hotel. And he says, this is the first time I've seen the US flag. Like, to me, it represents freedom. And I've only ever seen it in my country on fire or people walking on it. And he explains they don't have a US embassy anymore. They made it into a museum. And he says they have like ripped up flag. I said Ole Miss,
I
United
heard it.
States. Sorry. Don't rip up either one of those flags. They mean a lot to me. They've ripped up US flags. And he said to even apply for this visa, he had to go to Ankara in Turkey. Um, he says, just staring at the flag, he says, to me, it means to be free. So I guess in my
Ankara
mind,
is just where Sarper and Shekinah were.
I know. So I guess in my mind, if you're in Iran and you can easily go back and forth to Turkey and you can apply for a visa, I mean, I guess to me, it just seems like it would be very hard from somebody like Iran or Iraq to get a visa to come and live here. To me,
Mhm.
it seems it would be very, very hard.
Mhm.
So I will be very interested to talk to her about like how long was because it seems like it wasn't even like a year-long process.
I know. Again, more proof that Michael was not wanting to come.
No, he didn't want to come. But I'll be interested to find out like what his job is, what's his profession, because all of that may play into like he must be like highly educated and maybe not. Maybe I'm totally wrong. So we don't know. I've only been covering the show for like 46 years and I still don't know these answers. So
Where was the little gymnast girl and who converted to Islam and her husband who was a dentist from?
okay, you threw me off with gymnast, but you're talking about she's so pretty.
Yeah.
But she had converted to being Muslim on her own.
Avery? Is that his
Avery
name?
and Omar. Because he wanted to move to Lebanon or Syria or something. And she's like,
Mhm.
no. How about Dubai or somewhere in Turkey? I can't remember where they live now, but they don't
Yeah.
live. Yeah. And he was a little dentist and she's just really cute. Yeah,
Yeah.
Avery and Omar. But where was he from?
I can't I'm
I'm
trying to
trying
find.
to, okay. He was from a war-torn country as well.
I thought so, but again, that was so long ago.
But I don't know if the country he was from was directly fighting with the United States,
Right.
you know?
Yeah.
So he tells her that he spoke to his family, he probably called them from the airport or whatever, and they were crying because they're really starting to realize that he's gone for good.
Mm.
And I was talking to Ed, he says, I think I'm realizing I have no idea when I would ever be able to go back because there's a risk if I go back to visit, I could be arrested and then I couldn't leave again. And he says, my country is not normal for these things to happen, but I'm going
Syria.
Syria. He was from Syria. Omar was from Syria. Okay.
Yeah.
I don't think they live there now, though. I
No,
don't.
they live in New Jersey, I think it says.
What?
Yeah.
I definitely thought they lived in another country.
I thought they lived here now.
Well, they're international travelers, so maybe they. I
Oh, they
don't
had
know.
a baby, I guess.
They did. I didn't know that. Oh
Oh,
my gosh, this is the Avery and Omar hour.
I know.
Oh. Um. Okay, back to Maddie. Okay, so Maddie says, he says to Stevie, if one day I want to go back and there's a chance they wouldn't let me leave again, would you let me do that? And she goes, well, if that's what you really wanted, but I would be so sad, but I would never keep you from doing what you wanted to do. And she was like, it's pretty shocking. He's mentioned this in the first hour,
Yeah.
but he's just like, first of all, the jet lag, the traveling, the homesickness. Yeah.
Mhm.
Let him get a good night's sleep and then we'll get into it. All right, let's move on to Gregory and Joan. These are your people.
Maybe they didn't have a baby. I don't know. I got to stop looking.
Okay.
Maybe they don't live in, I don't know. Maybe I have no clue. It's hard when you get those like Screen Rant articles and they're written by AI and you have no
Yeah, yeah,
idea
yeah.
what happened.
Yeah.
Okay, who are we doing? Gregory with the dough, slapping the dough.
Gregory slapping the dough.
Okay, so Greg is from Long Island. He's
Mhm.
another Joey. He's Italian.
Yeah.
Horrible accents are coming back. By that I mean mine, my impression. I don't mean theirs. So he is from Long Island. He is 35 years old. He's a bit of a failure to launch type gentleman. Um, he's okay. We first meet him. He's working the dough, slapping the dough.
Uh-huh.
He's trying to bake things. The dough looked very wet to me. I don't know much about dough, but it seemed very wet. And he's flipping it around, and at one point, it hits him in the face, and he keeps going with that dough. So someone is about to eat some neck beard bread, a greasy comb over bun. I hope you
Ew.
enjoy that
Ew.
nose hair croissant that you are eating.
Disgusting.
Forehead sweat
I don't even know if
bagel.
I don't even know if he works at a bakery, if he's just doing it for fun.
No, he does not. He's trying to open a bakery, but
Okay.
right now he just okay, I'll get to it. So
Okay.
he's very Italian, and we see chicken cutlets and baked ziti and meatballs, and like they're all cooking. Exactly Joey's intro,
Yeah.
literally cut and paste it.
Delicious.
Family gathering.
Yeah.
But he loves to eat, and he used to weigh quite a bit more. I'm not going to say the pounds because I don't like when they say the pounds. I think it's triggering for people. He used
Okay.
to weigh a lot, and then he felt unhealthy. He couldn't tie his shoes. He lost a lot of weight and now feels like he was starting his life over.
Yeah.
He delivers bread to people in his neighborhood.
Mm-hmm.
He kind of just like goes door to door, but to people he knows. But it's in like these loaves of bread are in big plastic tubs that you get at Target and you
Uh-huh.
store like your winter clothing in,
Legos or something. Yeah.
or Legos
In our house. Yeah.
with no lid.
Mm-hmm.
But he did put cloth at least there. But I think he's just driving around with this bin of clear plastic. I feel like if you're gonna go door to door, at least put it in like a basket or something. I don't know. And then people seem to be just knocking on the door. Oh, Greg. And then they take a roll just with their hands, and then
Yeah.
he drives to the next person's house. It just seemed
I think he could invest on
strange.
Amazon in just some cellophane bags, like clear, with
Yes,
like
wrap
a little
them.
zip tie, and then people could just pull it out and it'd be individually wrapped loaves. That
You know
would
what
be a
else
little
he
more
could
sanitary.
Yeah, you know what he can invest in also is gloves and a hairnet and a
Hmm.
neck beard
Hmm. Or just
net
shave it like a regular person.
or
Yeah.
shave
Hmm.
it.
Hmm.
Um he really wants to start a bakery, but he struggles with his work ethic and following through. And
Yikes.
yeah, Joan is his lady from Uganda, and he loves her big eyes and her big booty.
Did we get Joan's age? Because I didn't write it
I
down.
didn't get it.
Okay.
So this is the best meet cute we've had in a while.
Hmm.
We've had a lot of very good authentic meet cutes. Not that meeting someone on a dating app is not authentic, but just these are just a little more kismet sort of.
Yeah, I agree.
So he was on a plane, and he fell asleep on this guy's shoulder, which in general is not something you should do.
No, no.
And the guy was very nice about it. And when Greg woke up, they started talking. The guy was from Uganda and runs a safari company. And they chatted so much, and he liked Greg so much that he invited Greg to come to Uganda. And Greg was like, new year, new me. I'm going to just do it. And so he goes by himself to Uganda. And
Wow.
within a half an hour of being there, he met Joan. And I was
Would
like,
you do this? Would you meet somebody
yes.
on a plane and they go, "Will you come to Uganda?" Sure.
Old me would not, but now I'm in my midlife crisis me where I
Oh,
flew to Taylor Swift in
yeah.
Canada by myself. I
Mhm.
would totally do it now. But
Okay.
previous me, I would just be like, I'll just watch a documentary about Uganda. I don't need to leave my couch. But I'm
Yeah.
sort of in
Okay.
a travel bug feeling now.
Okay.
So
Good. My
s-
friend,
take life by the
Sarah,
horns.
my friend Sarah just went to London by herself for like 10 days.
I love that.
Yeah, she
I
was like,
was inspired by Maddie because he went on a trip by himself and
hmm.
posted a lot about it. And I was like, I need to do that.
Yeah.
So he goes, he meets Joan. They just started chatting, but they didn't like connect or date or anything. But a year and a half later, he was still thinking about that woman he met in Uganda. And out of nowhere, she found him on social media and reached out to him, and they started talking again. He went back to Uganda to propose to her because it became romantic. He loves Long Island, except all the drivers are assholes. And we're seeing him being like, I'm driving here. Do you see my head? I'm doing such bad accents today.
I'm enjoying it.
Beep, beep. What are you doing, you asshole? You see me coming? Okay. So anyway, he thinks Joan will be able to adjust to Long Island. Will she?
She does live in the town that it is, Kampala, I think is like a big city, I think.
Is it bigger than Long Island too?
Yeah, I mean,
Long
yeah.
Island can be parts of it just very neighborhoods and
Yeah.
Yeah. But a home there costs $500,000 and he can't afford a down payment at all because he has trouble with his work ethic. And he is living at home with his mama and her 2 little dogs. And
Mhm.
so he loves his mom, Lucille, but it's a huge cock block, he says. And Joan, this is going to be very confusing because Joan sounds like a mom's name, but Lucille is the mom's name. And so that's going to make me think of Lucille Bluth on Arrested Development. And so
Uh-huh.
I might start calling Greg Buster because he also was way too close with his mom. And they did those
Okay.
mother boy pageants. So it might this is going to be very interesting for me. So Joan wants them to have privacy once she gets there, and she knows they're going to be living with Lucille, but he hasn't been exactly clear with her on how long they're going to have to live with Lucille,
Mhm.
and it could be like up to 2 years, but Greg doesn't seem to know his actual finances. He uses a lot of generalities. So I think he's just guessing at 1 to 2 years. I think he actually has no idea.
I don't
And
think he does anything that makes himself a steady living.
no. And so when he's like, it's just going to be a couple years and then we can move out. And it's like, but do you have any, like, do you have a spreadsheet? Do you know like how
Plan.
much you're making in
Yeah.
like in a month and how much? I don't think he does any of that. So
Mm-mm. Mm-mm.
they're going to be living with Lucille. At least Lucille's not living in a closet. So step up from Clayton there.
Right,
And there's
right.
no guinea pigs. Um, And Lucille is cooking something in vats of oil, like chicken cutlets or something.
Yeah.
And, she had a busy day. I went in the pool with the dogs and I hung your laundry on the line, Greggy. It was all piled up there, Greggy. You got to clean your clothes better. I take out your garbage. I cook for you. I baby Greggy Poo a little. She doesn't call him Greggy Poo, but it sounds like she would call him Greggy Poo. She calls
Mhm.
him Gregory. I hand feed him. I change his diapers. No, but we do see her actually feed him. Like she takes something on a spoon and puts it in his mouth so he can try it.
Not good. And also,
So
how did they pay for the K1? Because you got to have like
yeah,
$8,000. How did they pay
I'm
for
I'm
that?
thinking Lucille might have guilted
Yeah.
into putting some stuff so her Greggy doesn't die alone. She might have put in some money on the K1.
Okay.
So she is like, I'm excited for Joan to come. Yeah, but I'm gonna wait and see how she treats you, Greggy, because I want to see how she talks to my boy. And I'm a little worried that he might be getting taken advantage of because he's very naive because
Yeah.
I babied him and
Wonder
still
why.
do.
Mhm.
So, I'm a little uncomfortable that you're going to have a girl up in your room, even though you're 35 years old. And I don't want to hear what goes on sexually up
Yeah, we
there.
got it. You didn't need to say that part. Like, we got it, Lucille.
Uh,
We got it. Yeah.
would you consider separate rooms until you tie the knot? And he's like, well, we're going to tie the knot in like a couple months. So why does it even matter if we sleep in the same room before? And, where would she even stay? And Lucille goes, well, we have that futon against the wall in there. So I thought, and Greg is like, no, she's coming all this way. I don't really feel comfortable with that. But then he says, I'm not exactly paying rent here. So
Right.
I feel like we have to be respectful to my mom's rules, and he's just very nervous. He says if they don't get along and we can't make it work, we're going to have to move out, and I just can't afford to do that.
Yeah.
And then we'll never get a house. So then we see him go over to his friend Laura's house to work on her smelly dishwasher, which is he thinks
Gross.
it's a septic line issue. I don't know what's happening.
It was gross.
So was that a house or was it like a trailer? Does that
Mm.
matter? Because he kept saying they installed the line wrong and like,
I don't know. And also, if he's a plumber by trade, go work for a big plumbing company. You can make a lot of money.
okay, he's not a plumber by trade. He clearly has no qualifications. He
Mhm.
says he gets work from like friends and helps them out and then word of mouth. I do not think he's licensed or anything like that.
Okay. Because if
So
he's a licensed plumber, he can be making a good living.
great money, so
Yeah.
much money, but I don't think he's a licensed plumber. I
Okay.
really don't. I
Okay.
think he just tinkers and people have just hired him because he's cheap.
Yeah.
So, and he says, I'm not passionate about plumbing. I'm just trying to make ends meet. And Laura did have some word art going on, but not
Oh,
as much as Jessica.
I did see one large piece in her living area. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So, he says, I really want to make things work for Joan because she's making a huge sacrifice to come to America. Her life is good in Uganda. She's the director of a nonprofit and she's college educated in marketing and finance. Well, maybe she could help you get your bakery up and going.
Exactly. Yeah.
And he's very proud of her. Like you can tell he brags about her a lot. And also when people think that she's just coming for a green card, he's always like, she is educated. She has a college degree in marketing and like she runs a not-for-profit. And he says, I don't think she's using me for a green card. If you ask her, she thinks life is better in Uganda. And he says, I agree. I actually think her life is better in Uganda. And she might be in for a rude awakening when she comes here. And she knows my financial situation, but I hope she can be patient and not want to move out right away.
Mhm.
And Laura's like, so what's your plan? And he goes, well, I'm putting all my eggs in the bakery basket. I'm trying to make this bakery thing happen. Um, and Laura says, okay, gosh, and you want a family too? And he's like, yeah, we're going to be struggling for a while, but we'll cross that bridge when it comes to it. Like he's not that worried.
No.
And Laura, who has dealt with his crap, I think for many years, or maybe she's a friend of the mom and she's like seen him fluster. Maybe
Yeah.
they went to school together. I don't know what age Laura is. She
It was unclear. She seemed older than him, but not
she
as old
does
as the
seem older
mom.
than him,
Yeah.
but so she's like, "Can I give you some friendly advice?" But she just does it. Constructive criticism,
Mhm.
you can't put off thinking about the future. You need to get serious. You need to grow up a little bit. You're 35. You need
Mhm.
to not just like, oh, we'll worry about that when the time comes. Like, you need to do that now. And
Yeah.
he's like, yeah, I guess I haven't really taken all this stuff seriously, but you have
How
to
did he
now.
afford 2 trips to Uganda?
Yeah.
I mean, that's gotta cost.
Mama Lucille, maybe.
She's like, "Get him out of here for 2 weeks." Yeah.
Maybe that's why he doesn't have a bakery because he keeps flying to Uganda. I don't
I
know.
know. That's my thought. It's like, gosh.
Also, like, I just don't know, is his bakery gonna be, like, out of the house or
Right.
sticks and bricks type place?
Sticks and bricks.
What do they call it?
Brick and mortar.
Brick and mortar? Sticks is a stick and brick.
Stick and brick
Uh,
sounds pretty good.
one of those
Yeah.
stick and brick places.
Yeah.
But you can't just bake anywhere. Like, if you
No.
are you have to have,
A commercial kitchen.
a commercial kitchen with, like,
Mhm.
health inspector checking and, like, stuff
Yes.
like that.
Yes.
So and now he's shown, on TV that he is just baking it looked like a kitchen, though, that he was baking in, like, maybe he rents out a kitchen
Yeah. Right.
to do so he could do that, but he needs
Yeah.
a better delivery system than those
Yeah.
Target bins,
Mhm.
for
I think
sure.
I think a basket with this cute cellophane with a cute ribbon on
Yeah.
it, with
They
a little
looked
sticker on
good.
it that says sourdough or whatever it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They looked like good breads, but I did feel like they might have his face on them because it did smack him in the face, and
Okay.
he didn't pull that piece off and throw it away.
He's like, "Ah, it's made with love."
I know it bakes all that, yeah, the sweat
Yeah.
and all that gets baked
Made with
away.
love. Yeah,
Yeah.
made with love. All right, let's move on to Shekinah and Sarper.
Oh, I
Okay, so we come back to where we ended with the what happened, babe? Are you okay? What? So dramatic, so stupid. And he goes, no, they will not let me in. They will not permit it. It's not fair to American guys because I am too handsome. And I said, I assure you, I am taken. And yes, I'm approved. She was like, babe, stop. Why do you have to be so funny all the time? You're so hilarious. Stop it, babe. Um, and the talking he says, I got it. The K1, better than orgasm. Peeing, orgasm, and K1, the three best things in life.
I
What?
mean,
What?
if you have to pee really bad and you've been holding it and were driving and you didn't think you'd make it
Yeah.
and you're like worried you're going to pee your pants and then you have to go pee, that
Mhm.
is a really good feeling.
It's almost painful, actually.
I would
Um,
include eating in there, like when you're
yeah,
starving and your food finally comes and you get
yeah. Or even if
that's
you're not starving, just
that's a
eating
good feeling.
is a good feeling too. So he said, they asked, what is
Wait,
my
what was
job?
it? Peeing, orgasm, oh, and
And the
visa. Okay.
K1.
Yep.
Yeah. He said, they asked what is my job and what I do for a living. And I say, I am professional narcissist. He's really leaning in. He
Really, he's
loves
practiced. He's practiced.
really, yeah,
He's charming everyone on Pillow Talk with these bits.
not me, not me. And
You know who
so,
loved it? Amy Archer, I bet.
oh, she loves Sarper. She loves Sarper. So she's like, they're both like, babe, stop, babe. I'm so excited, babe. So in the talking head, he says, in the interview, he said, I did my best. She kind of told me I had to be calm because I am asshole. So I can do anything to mess it up. So I be as cute as possible. I mean, that dominant alpha male guy went away. I was cute and I got it.
He's
Okay, we get it.
self-aware.
Yeah, but
He
he's
knows.
leaning in and it bugs.
Yeah, he thinks he's very charming.
I'm a narcissist. I'm an asshole. Like
Yeah.
he did in that cameo I got for Amy. He was like, it's me, the biggest asshole ever to be on TLC. I was like,
Yeah.
no, don't say that. There's so many worse people. So so she was like, babe, we have to worry about getting packing now. But first, of course, we have to tell your parents. And he says, in Turkey, he's the child. So actually, he's responsible for his parents. That's their culture.
Yeah.
And he is very worried about telling them because they are old. And what if they say, you cannot go? So now these two get in some real get ups to go meet with his family. He is in a flannel shirt that he's torn the sleeves off of. And then she has wrapped those sleeves around her forehead. I don't know.
It is giving J-Lo in the
Yeah. Uh-huh.
early
Yeah.
aughts,
Good.
Brittany and Justin in like
Mhm.
matching
Mhm.
denim getups.
Yep.
It's
Good call. Good
I'm
call.
not feeling it.
So they're in their get ups and she's like, babe, I'm so stressed about this. I'm so stressed. He's like, oh, I'm so stressed to talk to my parents. And he goes, no, no, you're not. You're not the reason. You're not stressed. He says, you have to understand. You have the victory. And he says about his parents. He goes, my parents, they are over 70 and they have health issues and for some time I won't be able to come back and they don't really know that part. And she goes, well, listen, when we get there, you need to change your face. You need to change your face because you show all your emotions on your face. And he's like, and she goes, stop. You can't do that on your face. He goes, and she goes, no, not that one either. Ew. And he goes, okay, hello. And she goes, oh my God. Ew, not that face and not that voice, babe. So
That was everyone on Pillow Talk's face when Brian showed up at the last Pillow Talk.
yes. And they're like,
Oh, nice to
thanks.
meet. Yeah.
Show off the teeth. So they go see his mom and dad, and they do seem to like her a lot. They don't speak the same language. And there seems to be lots of family there. We see sister cousin, and there's other family there that doesn't make it to the outside table conversation.
Oh yeah, I think
Yeah,
you
you guys stay inside.
yeah.
So she gives the mom the gifts that she'd got the ceramics or the pottery or whatever. They like it. And she's like, oh yeah, we got them when we were in Ankara. And dad said, how was it when you went to Ankara? Was it super hot? And Sarper goes, let's put the weather talk aside. I was like, wow, okay. And he says, I have something to tell you. The reason we went to Ankara, well, We applied for the K-1 visa, and I went to the appointment for that. Dun, dun, dun is the stupidest dramatic music ever. And he's like,
Yeah.
oh, he's like gripping onto the chair. He's so dramatic. And he says, it was approved. And they're all like, oh, ah, oh. And they said, when are you going? And he says, shortly. And they go, oh gosh, wow, more dramatic music. So he's telling them, and they've got sister cousin there to translate. He's telling them it's open ended. So I don't know when I would return. He hasn't like explained it to them exactly. He says, so they have 90 days to get married. And he keeps saying, and if we don't get married, I'll come back. If we get married, he keeps saying,
And she
if we
doesn't
get
know
married.
he's
Mm-mm.
saying this.
She doesn't know that. And the talking head, she goes, oh, I just feel so bad about this. Like I can't look anybody in the face because like I'm the bad guy and everybody's mad at me. So he tells his parents, yeah, I'm not going to rent out my apartment or sell my car. What?
That's
I don't think she knows that.
that no. That
And he goes, when we get, he's telling this to Shekinah. He goes, I'm telling them, like, if we get married, they can't come because they won't be able to get a visa to come for the wedding. And he's telling them and translating long distance was so hard on both of them. And if he was denied for this visa, they had just decided they would have to break up. And he says, for me, it's really hard because I'm programmed. I'm very regimented, and it's hard for me to break out of that. But I have to try and take this gamble, or I'll regret it forever if I don't even like see where it goes. So talking head together, we have mom and dad, and they say, of course, they're sad, but he's following his heart, which is great. And they like Shekinah, I think. And at the table, they're all saying, we're going to be really sad that you're leaving, but we love Shekinah too. And, once it's all done and completed, they'll have the freedom to go back and forth. I mean, I don't think they still understand. And the mom goes, okay, after 3 months, he goes, yeah, no, it's, he just kind of goes, no, because after the 3 months, you just apply for something else. If we get married, if we get married. So he's
I'm
putting the
keeping
big,
one foot in Turkey.
mm-hmm.
Yeah.
He's not selling his car. He's not renting out his apartment. If they get married, then after that, they have to apply for him to be able to go back and forth, which I think they've said can be another 9 months. So a year total.
Jeez.
So sister cousin is like, listen, they need time to digest. I think my uncle, his dad, doesn't show his feelings, but I think he's devastated.
Mm.
Yeah. And that's it for them.
And next week she's going to spill the beans, I think, and
Sister cousin.
tell Shekinah how he was translating it, and that.
And
Well,
like,
because she says, he may come back.
yeah. And I think it's sort of, I think the ideal situation is that like in the week that she's with her daughter, he could go over there. I
Mhm.
mean, they just have to have the funds to be able to do that,
Yeah, and
you know?
apparently she's the big esthetician.
Right. And I think it'd be better for her if she could stay in town more and work instead
Mhm.
of flying back and forth over there to see that weirdo.
Yeah. Also, why do you think the parents love her so much? They never talk to her. She never says anything.
I think she's pretty, and it's finally somebody's locked him down.
That's true, yeah.
Yeah. And maybe they'll get a grandchild that they'll meet one
Right.
day
Yeah.
instead of that one they never met,
Mhm.
that he's searching for.
Right.
LOL. Okay, let's move on to Jessica and Juan and all their word art.
Oh god. So, and their brood. So
Their brood.
well, she picks him up from the airport with all the children. Now, would it have been better if she picked him up with no children? I know Emily got a lot of flack for that.
Yeah.
Emily left the baby, and so Kobe and her could have sex.
Yeah.
But he had never met his baby.
He had never met the baby, and she
so-
just wanted to have one night alone, but yeah.
And people did not like that. But then I think, could she have just brought the baby? But then I feel like her two older boys would have felt really left out because they seem to think of Juan as their dad. This is rough. They go to the hotel.
Either take no kids.
No kids or all kids.
No kids or all kids. Yeah.
Yeah. So they drive to the airport. The baby has been crying the whole time. And the hotel, they come in and she goes, this is big. And one of the boys goes, oh, dang, it's spacious. I was like, very good vocabulary on that little boy. And also that's hilarious. Oh, dang, it's spacious.
The word art has paid off. Look at them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the boys are arguing and climbing over each other, wrestling, farting on each other. He farted on the pillow, and Juan is just like exhausted because he's been flying all day. And then Juan says, he does actually say, he said, I know they're just excited and, they feel comfortable with me and that makes me feel good. And when my dad died when I was only 8, we were suddenly very poor and I had to fend for myself and my brother had to fend for himself. My mom had to try to find work. And, this all makes me want to be a good dad and a stepdad.
Yeah.
So he's saying all the right things.
He is, and he's very sweet to the little boys, even though they're like hyped up and annoying. He's being very
Yeah,
sweet.
he
He's like
is
answering
very
their
sweet.
questions. Yeah.
Yes, yeah. So the next morning, the kids are sleeping like on Juan, which was very cute.
Yeah.
And he does wish he had a private night with Jessica and not a fatherhood night,
Yeah.
but he hopes that night 2 he'll get some. Good luck, buddy.
Wait till you see the house.
Yeah. So they get in the car and now they're driving, and Juan is seeing in daylight the vast nothingness of the road. And it's just nothing. He says it's just flat and yellow grass and
Hmm.
nothing. And Jessica says, oh, okay, well, we could play a card game or something. And he says, cards while we're driving.
Yeah.
And she says, no, car game. Let's play I Spy. The first one to see a cow on the road. Oh, there's the cow. That was fast. And Juan is just so bored. At one point, he goes, is that a penguin? And she's like, I don't know what he thought the penguin was. There's no penguins there.
Maybe it was a baby cow.
A very tiny baby cow.
Yeah.
Maybe they need to take him to the zoo and then maybe he'll see a penguin.
Yeah.
So the second they hit her town with the sign that says 6,119 people, he says, it smells like cow poop. It's like right when you cross the border into that town.
Yeah.
But then he says 6,120 people now live here.
That was
So that
cute.
was cute. And then, so he says, yeah, it smells like cow poop. And she says, you'll get used to it. And she's pointing out the one movie theater, the one liquor store. Actually, there's probably lots of liquor stores. And she's pointing out all this stuff and on Main Street. And the one kid goes, do you like Columbia more?
Just the whole country.
Yeah. And she's like, he just got here. And I think the kid is bored. Like the kid's like, can we go to Columbia?
Yeah.
So the sign on the garage is not just from the boys. It's signed by like her mom and somebody named Rick who just says good luck. So, good luck. You'll need it. But I thought that was cute that she got like everybody to sign that big sign. And then the house is all decorated for Christmas. And he points out the word art. And I saw should, would, could, and they're all crossed out. And then it says did.
That's right. Motivational. Yeah.
Explore with an arrow. There is always, always, always something to be thankful for.
Okay.
Gather together. Give thanks. Thankful. Dream. It's so good to be home. Blessed. Something I couldn't read. To wash my dishes.
Oh, okay. Well, that's real specific. Yeah.
Blessed to wash my dishes. Be patient. Hug one another often. He says, I guess she's very positive and there's a lot of messages here, but it might be too many messages. It's too many messages.
So funny.
And so then she shows him their bedroom.
Mm-hmm.
There's no door on the bedroom.
Mm-mm.
Could she not have gotten a door? How much do doors cost? She must know like a guy who could just screw in the door.
I was trying to figure out what was happening. Okay. So they go downstairs and there's like 2 bedrooms downstairs.
And a laundry room.
Mm-hmm. So the question is, she hasn't just opened because it's just her and the kids there, right?
Yeah.
So I get it. But was it like a regular door size or was it like a wide open like playroom, like you would just walk into a room without?
It seemed to be wider than a normal door. So maybe that would be tricky.
Yeah.
You might need something specially designed. Yeah. And that would cost more.
Yeah.
I'm glad to go back and look.
Do the kids have a door?
The kids had a door. I believe there's a sign that says only boys allowed or something.
Oh yeah, I know. Yeah.
but then it appears that the boys' bedroom is attached through a bathroom.
Mm.
So there's like a little half bath, and then you go through where the shower is. And so
Uh-huh.
no, I'm sorry, you have to go through the boys' bedroom to go to the shower. So he's
Okay.
like, I have to walk through their bedroom to take a shower. And she's like, yeah, I mean, there is a shower upstairs, but if you want to use this one, you do have to go through, and you have to go through their room to get to your clothes out of the closet anyway. And he's like,
I'm gonna look at this
"What?"
screenshot that the monkey sent me because I'm just like, what?
So
Um,
his closet is through their bedroom as well, which makes me think they are in some sort of bonus room that doesn't have a closet.
I'm thinking, yeah, I think that it's like a one bedroom house and they're just
Uh-huh, and
saying
they've
two bedrooms.
converted this
Um,
downstairs den into a bedroom.
yeah, I'm looking. Okay, here's the house. Okay. It is two bedrooms, two bath, 936 square feet.
Mhm.
Um, off the
2 bedrooms,
market,
2 bath,
Z estimate
900.
186,000. Um, and yeah, it says two bedroom, two bath. So I think there's only one shower.
She said there was one upstairs.
Yeah, I think that there's a half bath and then yeah. Or I think it would say two and a half bath. It only
Yeah,
says
you're
two
right.
bath. Yeah.
Mhm.
It's small and it's fine for her and the kids, but I think that they're gonna have to get a little bit bigger and they're gonna have to have like mommy and daddy's room, boys'
Yeah.
room, baby's room.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
did see some more word art downstairs.
Oh, good.
Pray,
Mhm.
Truly, Madly, Deeply,
Mm.
which was a
Okay.
great song by that band that had
Mhm.
that one song.
Mhm.
Um, I love you always forever.
Mm, mm, mm.
Uh,
Mm, 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 mm,
so
mm.
he
Yeah, I got
says,
it.
I need more privacy. And she says she starts to get really snippy, and they're in their talking head together. And like you can tell she's getting annoyed and she's very defensive.
Mhm.
Um, And he's like, I need more privacy. And she's like, well, in the cruise, you had no privacy. You had a roommate.
Mhm.
But he wasn't trying to get laid on the cruise. At least you hope he wasn't trying to get laid on
That's
the
why he was
cruise.
going to her room. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And there's a reason people don't live on cruise ships forever
Right.
with 3 children.
Right. Yeah.
So she goes, well, you're just going to get used to it. Parenthood means having no privacy, and it's all part of being a parent. And he's like, okay. She's just being a
I know,
little.
but what we're not pointing out is that they have a good relationship with their dad, so they are probably gone half the time, the older ones,
That's true.
you
That's
know?
true.
So just relax, Juan.
Just
If Thursday's coming. Just
yeah, you'll
yeah.
get.
Yeah.
But I feel like she could also maybe have prepared him a little better. He's like, this is all different than it looked on FaceTime. Like I
Right.
just didn't realize how small it was. And I think she's getting annoyed that he keeps pointing it out. I think she feels bad enough already.
Yeah.
Like, so she does
Defensive.
defensive. She didn't
Mhm.
want him pointing it out. And so they like get in bed together, and she's like, I've waited for this for so long. And you hear like the baby crying and the boy's like, turn off the light. He farted on me. So
What was the
that's
one boy saying? Was he like, "I need to talk to
I
you"?
need to talk to you. Read me a story. Like these kids they're they're active. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, they are. They're little boys, and you literally have to wear them out, like just okay before bed, run around the house 12 times.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You got to just do everything you can to get those
Yeah.
kids to go to sleep.
Yeah.
It's gonna
This
be
is a
rough.
lot. Like I'm so exhausted for him.
Yeah,
I felt like he handled it pretty well,
I
but
did too. I think he's very sweet to the kids. I feel like he's very. I hope it's not all an act. He turns out to be a jerk, but she's
I
been with him
know.
for a while now. So
Yeah.
yeah, but
This is
whoops,
just
baby.
a lot of situation for
Mhm.
a young man to come into.
Well,
But then he
we
shouldn't have knocked her up, and
there are ways to prevent it.
yeah.
Yeah. Um, well, we didn't have this week Matt and Amani and Annie, whatever. I did get a long, long DM from a monkey who was like, okay, first of all, it's barely 50 minutes to Tijuana. And there are all
Thank
these,
you.
and she wrote me this long, I have to find it, but she wrote me this long thing explaining about all the strip clubs and things. And you can literally just be like, you have to pay a guy and then you can take the girl and go somewhere, and then
Uh,
it's like a whole thing. You're like, absolutely, that they met her up at a club like that. That's exactly what
mhm.
happened, and this is fake, fake, fake. They've already been on another reality show, these two,
I knew
and
it was them.
it was they've been on another reality show,
Yeah, it had to have
and
been them.
yeah, and then I sent you the house, and you said it seemed like a low price for where it was
Yeah, I don't buy that. That's crazy.
because
Like,
it was like 2 something million. You're
it's
like,
on the
no, it'd
side
be
of, like, a hill, and it's huge, and I
yeah,
was only 2,000,000.
maybe to rent it.
Yeah,
I
seriously.
mean, it's 2
Like,
million
I
to rent.
don't buy it.
Um,
Something fishy.
yeah, something's fishy about them. We're not buying their story, so we're going to proceed with caution and just assume everything is fake, fake,
Mhm.
fake.
Yeah.
Let me tell you what else is happening on the podcast this week. Thursday, I've got Deanna Chang coming on to talk about Pop and Bravo. I'm going to be a guest this week on 2 podcasts, Reality Court, which is with Ace Fanning and Annika
Mm,
Kosis from Real Housewives of Miami. They have a fun podcast. So I
fun.
was a guest on that this morning. I don't know when it comes out, but it was very fun. Then I'm going to be a guest on Ryan Bailey's show this week, talking about 90 Day and whatever he wants to talk about. And there's going to be a bonus episode right here of the Baldwins, and also covering 90 Day Resort. And of course, don't forget Love is Blind, 2 episodes of that will drop on Friday. So if you see me face down in a ditch, it's because I've worn myself completely out.
Which is
That's it.
why we're not doing that Muslim matchmaking that has shown up on my
I'm,
Hulu or
s- I'm
wherever.
so upset that that came out without me knowing anything about it. I'm very upset about that because it
I
is by
watched
the
the
same
first
production
few
company.
minutes. You can tell. I watched the first few minutes. It seems exactly like Seema Auntie
Yeah.
and Jewish matchmaking. Yeah.
Well, I'm sorry, guys. There's just not enough hours in the
There's
day.
not enough hours. She's very busy.
I'm booked and blessed and
Yeah.
losing my voice.
That's booked and blessed is she has a word art sign. This is hashtag booked and blessed.
Hashtag blessed, hashtag
Mhm.
booked, hashtag blessed.
Mhm.
And you're back on the scene with the Date with Dateline.
Yep.
Yeah, and covering Friday's show.
Yes.
Yes.
The
Eh,
Delphi murders. Very sad.
oh, okay. Well, I'm a semi-expert on that. So
Are
I was
you?
like,
We should have
yeah.
had you on
Mm.
because we were confused about a lot of it.
I just yeah, I listened to that whole podcast about it. There was a couple seasons.
Yes. Well, which one? There's several podcasts.
I don't know. You'd have to tell me
Okay.
the names of them, and I could tell you if I listen to it.
Gotcha. Um,
I think it
you
was
think
called
he did it?
Are we the Delphi murders is down the hill or
Yes.
it okay, down the hill. Because there's another one called like Pikesville something and I was getting confused. The Delphi down the hill. Yes, he
Yeah.
did it. Yeah. 100%.
Okay.
You don't think so?
We were just not super impressed by the evidence that they had.
Oh, okay. Yeah, he totally did it.
Okay.
Yeah, he totally did it. I've listened to a lot of Jody Weber's podcast, Caught in My Web, which is a
Yeah.
Patreon only podcast. And she's been covering it also, the whole
Yeah.
trial. And yeah, he totally did it. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I mean, I know there's a lot of conspiracy theorist people out there who don't think he did it,
Mhm.
but when they showed the evidence they had on the Dateline, I was like, that's all they had?
Yeah, the video and the voice and everything. Yeah.
You think
Mhm,
matched up.
mhm.
But we were confused why there weren't like video comparisons or voice expert comparisons.
I think they definitely had some kind of video comparison of him that, like, people identified, "Oh, yeah, that's the way he walks because he has, like, a injury or something." Yeah. Okay, well, I'll watch it, and then I'll listen to your episode because I
I'm
have
worried we're going to piss people off because people who are more, but we said several times, we don't know much backstory about this case. We only know like like what we've seen in the news and stuff. We did not
mhm.
listen to anything about the trial. So we're only going by what the Dateline showed, and we were not fully convinced.
Yeah, well, if you're just recapping Dateline, you've gotta, like, cover what's on that show. You can't be like, "Oh, wait,
Yeah.
no, no, listen, there's 6 others there." Yeah.
But I know people are going to send us like, this is
Mm.
why, blah, blah, blah. And I'll be like, thank you. Now we're going to do a part 2 where we'll explain the stuff
Yeah,
Dateline didn't
no,
put.
I can't give you that much detail. I just know that from listening to all the stuff when Jody covered the trials, like, "Oh, yeah, he did it." Like, there's no way out of that.
Great.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
happy they have the right person.
Yeah, the right person is in jail. Um, and that's it. I already told you what was happening here. Now I've told you what's happening on Dateline. And so, you guys, well, if you listen to the next episode, that'll be the Baldwins. Otherwise, I'll see you Thursday for Pop and Bravo with my buddy, Deanna Chang.
Okay, bye. Thank you so much.
Ads not read by me, Mary Payne, don't necessarily reflect the views of Pink Shade. If you'd like to listen to ad free, you're going to go on over to Supercast or Patreon, and you can find the links to Pink Shade Prime at pinkshadepodcast.com.